Look, we've got 10 minutes before we want to do our stretch a leg break and then go into our second hour. What fantastic presentations. There's so much richness in that journey that we've gone from in this growing of flax. A number of questions bubbled up. I don't want to deny anyone a chance to respond, but there was a question about the used retting liquor. I should say that Helen and her husband are developing some machinery, and it's a very impressive setup. I can't remember where it came from, Helen, but there was a question for you about that retting liquor and how that might be used.
Yeah, we're actually just starting a project along with Jane, looking at how that retting liquor can be used as fertilizer, just to do some analysis and so on it. We think it's probably very similar to, I'm sure some of you have bought or used nettle fertilizer, a nice organic fertilizer that you can buy, which is basically the same sort of process as we're using for retting the flax. So we're starting a little project just to look at, whether we could even I mean, we'll use it on our farm anyway. We draw it out of the tank and spread it on the fields, and it's good. It's just putting all the nutrient that's come out of the flax is going back on the fields, so it makes total sense. But we're starting a little project with Queen's University to look at using that liquor.
Wonderful. I think those university links have proven very fruitful for a number of projects, and where that can happen, that's great. Rosie gave a little nod to Simon there in Flaxland. Simon, I don't know if you want to come in to tell us a little bit about what makes it a successful crop. I'm grateful to you for supplying seed. We've been growing flax in small flax circles around Fife, as it would have been grown in the 1820s. So thanks to all our festival hosts for growing flax again in Scotland, and it was your seed.
Yes, actually, on the question of seed, as you know, we had a lot of difficulty this year, and it's thanks to Rosie for sharing out some of her seed that many of these projects are carrying on at the moment. There's been a difficulty as the flax seed isn't registered in the UK, but hopefully that problem is going to be resolved. So obviously getting good seed is the first stage. You will find really in farming, most of these projects, you've got to go with what soil you've got. And really, you've just got to have a go and try it where you are. One thing I would say is, this year there's a great variation in how well the crop has grown, and a lot of it is down to the climate. And we are actually struggling. We struggled for 2 years running due to a very dry climate in the planting season, and that's resulted in poor fibre. And it is sort of almost an irony that at the moment we're actually trying to do something to help with the environment and get a more natural fibre growing, that we're being almost being shot in the foot by the thing we're actually trying to stop, and to get a good crop established. Yeah, I mean, I think it is just great that so many people are starting to grow flax on a small scale. The educating of growing flax, to learn how to grow it, to know how to ret it, all takes time. And by starting off on a smaller scale and working up through the stages, I think is a really sort of positive way to be working. If the government gave us 200 million and we said set up a flax industry, it wouldn't be a great deal of interest to a lot of people. And it wouldn't really be worth doing, because we don't actually haven't gained enough experience to set up full-scale manufacture. So this staged approach is a really excellent way to be working.
Thanks, Simon. I think what also struck me, and thank you for the wonderful images that were supplied by our presenters, was how extraordinary a community endeavour a lot of this has been. I have a picture of a number of people pulling flax on Helen's farm. We saw Sirpa give a nod to Matti, and it's been a family affair in Finland. And as we saw from Oregon, that community aspect of things. And I don't think that can be underestimated I really feel strongly about the well-being of locality when it comes to these projects. We are bringing people together in a kind of creative fellowship that really gives people a sense of place and a sense of person. That's enormously beneficial to individual and community well-being. So look, we're at, is there another question anyone would like to pitch before we just take a 5-minute stretch of legs? You can either just unmute or you can ask something in the chat. Okay, look, let's take 2 minutes. It is, according to my watch, 14:58, 15:05. We'll regroup. I'm just going to show some images on the screen while we do that together.